Hey guys, welcome to Coaching with Chris. We've got a new cool intro. Man, I'm loving that intro. Hey, a couple things. First of all, make sure you share this. I've had some people like, how do I get connected? How do I watch this? So make sure you share Coaching with Chris. I've learned that you guys are listening more than watching. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please share it. That would just mean a ton to me. Oh, by the way, have you heard about our fast track? Like right now, we're killing it in our fast track product. Few hours underwriting, getting it all the way through. If you haven't checked out Fast Track, make sure you check that out. Like they're giving me my list of the things that I've got to say. And also, we have a new product called Rockstar coming out. Make sure you ask your account executive about the new Rockstar program because you don't want to be left out on that. That is going to be really, really cool. But I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited today. I get to have the opportunity. I've been looking forward to this. I woke up this morning saying, what would I ask? What would I ask? Director of AIM, Julie, are you here?
I am here. Good morning. Woo,
Good
woo.
morning. You know what I love about you, Julie, is you say it the way it is.
That's come back to bite me in the ass a couple times, Chris.
Me too. Me too.
God bless us for keeping it real.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I always say you never have to worry about where you stand with me because I'll just say it.
That's right.
And it does bite me in the butt every once in a while. Maybe Shalise and I, my wife and I, we've been married 30 years.
Oh, wow.
But we have a thing where, like, if we're going to say it the way it is, no matter who's in the room. And I go, maybe we should feather that a little bit better. And she goes, yeah, maybe we should. And she goes, you made me this way. And I go, I didn't make you this way. She goes, you did. I had to stand up for myself, and then I became a bold woman. And I'm like, oh boy, but we love it. We love it. It's what's made 30 years, stay 30 years. But not about me, but what about you? I'm excited to get to know you today because I don't know you that good. And if you're like me, mortgage found me. But how did mortgage find you, Julie?
I mean, mortgage found me through a newspaper ad when I was 18 years old. It asked if I could type 35 words per minute, if I was highly organized. Yeah. And I can't remember what else, but I was like, yep. And I was already out on my own at 17 and I needed a job to rent my room. And my mom happened to be in commercial banking my life. So I didn't really know what I was stepping into, but it was a loan processor position for Home Savings of America. Oh, there's that. And thank God, right? Because then you find out what you don't want to do.
Yeah. You did.
Tell me.
That's how it found you.
Yes, it found me. And then I got fired subsequently about 3 times. And then I think somebody hired me for, I was an assistant a couple of times and I wasn't great at that. And then I got into sales. And then I found myself, like I just found myself, and I was wholesale AE. So that was about 5 years of tripping on myself and learning to have, discipline, my favorite word.
Yes.
Yeah, because nothing, you don't get integrity in your life without discipline. You just don't. So now, if you ask me now, like what I would ask my younger person, it'd be totally different than how I rolled into it. But I kind of failed my way forward. And then I found my way in sales. Somebody gave me a shot as a wholesale AE. Susan Schwartz, if you're out there, thank you so much, because I did not earn that role. But thank God I did it, because, it was back in the day with big phone books, okay? Big phone books, and you go to the phone booth and you would check out all the mortgage brokers. And the one struggle I had was I couldn't read a map, Chris. I couldn't read a map, and my territory was huge, Northern California territory. And I could go get loans every day, but I didn't know how to sketch out my territory. And so the guy would just point and laugh at me and go, ha, ha, ha. But then I outproduced him and I went, ha, ha, ha. So, I've been with men my whole life. I think that's why I love men, by the way. My 2 business partners are men. I could not do this business without men. I also love you ladies. We do things a little different, but I speak man. You know what I mean? I think I'm a little bit, that's why they call me the Velvet Hammer.
The Velvet Hammer?
Yeah, that's my tagline, because I can be silky, but then, I hammer down, and I don't expect from others that which I will not give. So I'll start with that. So anyway, I was, 20 years wild, crazy. And then I found myself through sales and made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, and have a lot of failure. And thank God I've had a lot of success. So yeah, well-rounded.
I love that. I love that story. So now tell me about your amazing company.
Yes.
You got two great partners. I watched them win a wine basket one time, and that was
Hey,
my first introduction. And
I
I think they shared it with you.
who I was meeting. Yes, that is still in my office, that wine basket.
Okay, that was a cool night. And then I've just from afar really watched your company. I love your culture. I love the three partnerships of what I know. Like, tell us that story. Like, how did that whole thing come about?
Thank you for asking that. Thank God for wisdom and thank God for maturity because
Mm,
this partnership was built on a foundation of values.
mm-hmm,
It wasn't like, hey, how can we make a bunch of money? We'd already had some success, we'd already
mm-hmm,
made money, and that was not our driving force. And so we met on a board serving. So we knew that we had that in common. And the gentleman asked me to lunch one day, and I said, why don't we just bring what our values are and then bring some financial statements just to make sure that we're kind of equal partners, right?
mm-hmm.
And our values were in alignment. You know what I mean? The God, family, team, money, whatever you deem God to be. But family had to come first for me. I'm a mom, and it
Yeah,
came first for them because they're both dads. And so that was really unique. And then team comes before money. Like if you don't have the right people in the boat, I don't care how much money you make. For me, that's not for everybody. I don't expect everybody to subscribe by that, but that's how we operate.
yeah,
So we formed a partnership where all three of us take a different stool leg. I am the face of the company. I do growth, building, coaching, anything marketing related, any team support type of things. And then Anthony Lombardo, who's my partner, handles all compliance, legal, payroll. You get paid through him, insurance, things like that. And then Leo Witten
yeah,
is our lender partner, and he handles all of our lender relationships, all the broker packages, adding product, making sure we have all the product suite. And then as owners, we meet every single Tuesday,
mm,
no matter what, for 2 hours to just stay in conversation, to make sure that we are providing the value that we're charging. Every
yeah,
week we ask ourselves, what can we be doing better? Right.
yeah,
And so we come at it with a heartfelt approach, but we're very strategic as well. And I'm from retail. That was where I came from. I was a broker, then retail, then came back to the broker space. And so there's a lot that works in retail.
yeah,
I'm not a basher. I'm not a channel basher. And there's a lot that works in brokering. And what we
yeah,
did was tried to combine both in a very transparent way so that we're partnering with the loan officers. We're not going to be the lowest priced shop, nor do I want to be, because I think that's like me going to TJ Maxx. I don't have the time to spin through 10 tops to see if they've got my size and color. I'm more
right.
of a gal that, I want to go to a shop where I see all the white tops I want. Beep, 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 there's my size. Tink. So I just attribute that because, for me, it's not all about price, just as you in wholesale, right? It's not always
Hmm.
about price. It's about relationships and really caring. And we care.
We
And
do.
we hire slow. We hire people that we care, that we care, that match our value set.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm a slow grower. We're at about 210 loan officers now. We're in about 31 states. I came on 9/4 of 2019. I got a lot of energy left, Chris, and I'm just getting started.
I
So
feel it. I
yeah,
feel it.
and I love this business. I just love it so much, and I'm so grateful. I'm just grateful for being in it, even in this time. Like we doubled in our size last year at a time where people are hanging their shingles up, right? But
Yeah.
we just have so much life left in us, 54, I've got a lot of time left. I'm
You
almost
do.
an empty nester.
You are?
I say that with love, but soon, she's 16. And so, I just have a lot of life left and a lot more to
Yeah.
give. And I'm excited to just grow up with it because I'm growing up with the role and with my company and with AIM and all of that. So I just keep meeting amazing people. I'm a lucky girl. I know how blessed I am.
Well, I think a lot of people listening to this would be like, I could work for that. Like,
Well, or not. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I talked to a loan officer the other day, and this is where I'm real. And he's like, I'm going to pop 3 reverse mortgages in a month. I said, you're 25. I'm not going to say any F-bombs on here, but you're 25 and you're not going to pop any reverse. So let me share this with you. Number one, you're not going to come work here. Number two, let me share some wisdom with you. We don't pop loans. That's not what we do. Like, this is not shoes. We're not selling shoes. We're helping people, right, use home loans as a wealth builder, or use their home purchase as a wealth builder. It's a big deal. And I think we take for granted what we do sometimes, and we're not connected to it. And I'm not interested in the people that are popping loans. There's a lot of shops for them. It's just not us.
us.
I want
Yeah.
to really like the people that I go to work with and care that you're taking care and you're connected to what you're doing. And yes, I want to see you do 30, 40 loans a month if that's what you're up to. But if you're not up to that, I want to see what you're up to. So we're not, I don't want workhorses. I really want them connect. I know. I just feel like sometimes it's, how many deals can you do? Like, I remember all the CEOs when I was in retail going, just drive more business, Julie, Adam, drive more business. And I remember saying one time to my CEO, when's the last time you, I'm just having a hard time not doing the F-bomb, so I'm not going to do that. But when's the last time you called a realtor? I want to, and my CEO looked at me and goes, why would you ask that question? I go, because you're telling me to go tell them to go cold call. I cold call. When's the last time you felt that?
Yeah.
That discomfort, right?
Come down and cold call with us.
That's right. Right. And what I do is trying to turn it into a warm call. So here's where I'm different as a leader. Like, especially even with AIM, I'm doing that Wednesday mortgage morning call.
We want to talk about AIM.
Yeah. Like, I'm just in rooms with people up to something. I'm willing to get scared every day. And it's kind of a muscle that you build, right? Courage is great. But
how'd you say that? I'm in a room. What? That's so
I want to be in a room with people up to something. And at 6 a.m., they're up to something. I don't give a shit if your hair's done. I don't care if you got gym hair. I don't care. But I care that you come to the table with ideas and that you're collaborative and that you're willing to share. The people that want to keep it all for themselves, not interested. So I think I'm to a place now with my maturity. You'll find your tribe. There's enough to go around. There's like, I look at my competition as co-opetition. There's a lot of great platforms out there where we're nothing alike. Like, one of my good friends, Mike Cordes, right? Nexa. He's a good dude. Mm-hmm. We're just nothing alike. That's okay. I'm going to support him and cheer him along. He's going to cheer me along. And the people that want that platform go there. And the people that want, can we also collaborate? He helps me all the time. So same with Tom with Edge, right? Because we're friends.
Oh, great guy.
It's wonderful. I'm just I feel like at an age where, once you get over 50 as a female, sometimes you kind of, nobody can see me. So, I don't care what people say anymore.
Yeah.
I just have to be honorable with my head and my heart and my actions. They have to follow my words. And I only want to be in rooms with people that are up to that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think that was a big growth step for me. Growing my relationship first was with Eddie. That I know and has been a great leader and being able, and he's helped me. We've shared some great ideas and feed off of each other, and it's a great support team. And I think how people look at, just how you said it, which I totally appreciate, how you look at competition differently, but yet helps you grow.
Yeah.
And it takes the fear thing out too.
What's so great too? I was on the phone. I start at 6 a.m. with my calls now. I was on the phone with a leader this morning, a loan officer leader, and females are different than men. You guys kind of you'll cut and look, blood's coming out and you're kind of looking at each other. Right? And women get snarky. We just get really snarky. And there was a gal that's putting herself out there, which I really, really respect, just not in the way that I would do it. Right. And not in the way that this other gal would do it. And what I said this morning, which was so great, and I journaled it, is I'm going to use that for fuel in my tank. Right. Because she's up to something. So I have to respect it. That might not be the message that I want, right? But go find my tribe with my message and get up to something and stop being pissed and talking about the person who's in the arena from the stands, but go out and get in the arena. So for me, it's just like, I'm going to put it as some gas tank in my, or some gas in my tank to go take action for my values, because there's enough to go around. There really is.
There is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about getting in that room. You put yourself out there and basically volunteered, in a sense, to help grow, and became director of growth with AIM. And you put a lot of time into that. Why'd you do it?
That's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good question to ask me today, too. It is, because you know what? I don't think I knew what I was getting into, honestly. Okay. Here's why. My why is, in 2008, I had a mortgage brokerage. I had 70 loan officers, and I lost $1 million. Okay. And when I was pregnant, and when I lifted my hand to the organization that I paid for the 10 years prior, nobody was there. Nobody knew what to say, how to navigate things. Nobody was having any, I don't think we knew what was going on, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
you were in it in 2008, but it was
Oh
brutal.
yeah, I was there.
It was like a war. And so now we go like this. You were through that? Okay. So we know, are we going to deviate when shit gets hard? No, we're just going to lock in, and keep moving. So we know we've got us to rely on. But I wanted to produce a result in a trade association that's for its members. And so that's what I was up to. That's my why, is how can, and I don't get paid for my role. So it's not about notoriety or being paid. It's about how can I give back to the industry that's so given to my life. I've been doing this since I was 18 years old. I'm 54. I'll be 55 this year. This industry is nothing without its people. We are interconnected, and brokers especially need each other. Retail banks, I was pulling some numbers last night with 3,000 loan officers. They have enough people in the boat. But the average brokerage shop is between 1 and 10 people, and there's 12,000 of them nationwide. We need one another. We can grow from one another. Like George Messiah, I don't know if you know who that guy is. He's a mortgage broker. I hope he hears this. I love him. And he's a solo shop, and he just provides so much ridiculous value every single week on a call that we're on. And he needs that. He needs the camaraderie, right? Because isolation will kill you in this business. And especially if you've got your own advice spitting back to yourself over and over and over, when somebody outside, maybe who's found success, whether it be recruiting or scaling or operations, that's where Mike and, Tom helped me. I'm like, well, how are you guys doing this? Oh, here's how we're doing this. Da, 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 da. And I get to scale to the next level because they're so willing to share, right?
Yeah.
That's, to me, the compound effect. So that's my why. My why is to produce a result. I get no more. There's the most joy I can get is to watch people dream and then maybe be a helper in that coming to fruition. Whoo! There's no money. I just got it all in my body. There's no money that can buy that. Right. I was a huge loan producer in my years. I did my top month. I think I did like 68 loans. Never fed me the way this feeds me. Never fed me that way. Because it was great to help all those people get into homes. And then sometimes your spirit grows to a different level. Right.
Right. It changes.
And that's, and so this might, I love helping people. And then how can I change that into my roles as they evolve through my life? Right. Yeah. So that's why I'm a part of AIM. I think that we have an opportunity before us to truly unite our industry. And I'm going to say this, be collaborative with the bankers. Like I see both sides. Now, I mean, it's not that I'm on this side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I get what side you're on.
Yeah, I'm in the independent world because it's the best cost model for the consumer. And it's not always the best experience if you're not working with the right person. And there's a lot of people that are not meant for the independent world. So I say that not thinking that everybody should come to the independent world. If you're not skilled as a loan officer and you can't quiet the noise, this is not the place for you. If you are very skilled and you know what I mean, you can run a business, because we are running businesses. You're the CEO of your business, whether you're in retail or independent. I think retail just takes a lot off of you, So anyway, sorry, I talk a lot, Chris.
No, hey, I like it. No, I think you're right. And thanks for sharing that the broker world's not for everyone. I think that a lot of people went back to retail because, in throughout after 08 and 09, just because they didn't have the skill. And then they grew the skill and came back.
Well, and they weren't supported in the broker world. Every leader in the broker world, what they do, if they had money, they turned into retail because that's the way that legislation went, right? Right. So, gosh, those guys that stuck it out the whole time, God bless them. I love you. Like, honestly, I bow to them.
Yeah. So you do a call. Here's what I love about AIM. It's affordable, tons of resources, a community that will literally share anything, like anything. How you run your model, like you, Tom, Mike, Trevor, all four of you. I mean, I'm Casa, like all of you. We'll get on the phone. But you do a call, and like, I know it's early in the morning, 6, right? You do it 6. Is it a Wednesday, Tuesday?
It's Wednesday morning, Mortgage Morning Wednesday. John Haddad does one on the East Coast at 6 a.m. I do one on the West Coast at 6 a.m. Everybody's invited. Whoops, what was that?
Oh, I've never had a phone call before, and I'm getting phone calls. So it was really weird.
That's awesome.
who knew? I was wondering what the hell that thing is doing on my desk anyway. I just have my cell phone now. Now I got this thing that's calling me.
Get a
Okay.
landline.
Yeah, the landline phone. I didn't even know it worked. But you do this call, and Jonathan does his, and you do yours on the West Coast side.
Mhm.
And what do you cover? Like, how do I get involved? How do I find it? And what do you talk about?
Okay, great question. So I want to point out the differences between John and I, right? So we're 20 plus years difference in the business.
You got to be kidding me.
Well, I know I look pretty good, but and he's so cool because he's
He is cool cat.
just a younger, more swagger version. I think we both show up with the same heart set. But
Yes.
he, comes from a Quicken background, right? So he's going to come from lead pops, like in terms of like popping leads, like he's the best, right? He's the best at so much. So he's just going to have a different flavor. We do not connect on what our calls are about. He kind of let me go rogue. And but really it's about market insights. Number one, it's about collaborating. It's about, for me, my call is really focused on what's the discipline that you're willing to hone in? What's the one scary shit you're willing to do today? Like, what are you willing to do in front of your community and be held accountable for next week when you get on this call? So a lot of it's just posting some videos for the first time for people, or doing something that they haven't done before. So it's market insights, it's collaboration, connection, it's trends. Like I'm hosting Hammer Helmer tomorrow on some trends and what to look. Yeah. So I just bring in guests as well, because nobody wants to hear me every single week. I don't want to hear myself. But I'm a great facilitator, right? So I'd love to have you on if you'd ever like to come on.
I'd love to come on.
Great.
Plus, no telling what you'd ask me.
That's what makes it fun. And by the way, these guys are my peers. I want to say that. Like, I was a little nervous to step up to the call because I gave my production up again, like 2 years ago, to a loan officer that works with me. And I thought, well, why the hell should I be doing this call? And then I you know what? I got my life out of that damn call, because you know what happens? Everything I resist, I go, lean in. Because there's something for me to learn, right? To lean in. And what can I learn? I have found my community on that call. And I run calls all the time for my company, but this call is particularly special because it's all people from all different areas, and they all bring a different spectrum. And that's a true mastermind. When you can really get in, we really focused on AI tools last year. The amount of AI that's available to us when we used to pay assistants. That's where the retail world is not catching us. The retail world, everybody needs an assistant to run DO for 2 loans a month and run LP and run credit. Bullshit. Step up in your business, cut your costs, get lean, right? This is the time to do it. I think we're going to see the same year this year as we do next year. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not Barry. I'm not the guys that are, forecasting this, but prepare and take over market share. What are we? I think we ended up at 23,000 less licenses this year with $1 trillion more business. And then my next thing is LFG, baby. What are you doing to take over market share? And if you're not thinking like that, get into rooms with people who are, because then it just elevates you, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that call is about. Like, honestly, and I have a cameras on policy at Empire, so people are afraid to come on because they're like, oh, I have to put my camera on. I'm like, you don't need your camera. You can listen for the first few weeks, but then contribute, right? Like, it's an even exchange of energy. Like, what are you doing that could help somebody else? We shy away from that, like me shying away from that call and me being vulnerable enough to say it. I've got 30 plus years in this business. I'm kind of a badass in a lot of areas. Why would I shy away? You're right. I've been able to
I get it.
I scale a company pretty quick, and I've done it with, foundation, like standard operating procedures, all the unsexy stuff that nobody wants to do. But can I make that a little sexy? Maybe I can. That's my plight, is how do I educate us as entrepreneurs to truly build a foundational business that's sustainable? That's really what we can do during this time while things are a tiny bit slower for some of us. Go inward, right? Build your foundational success so that when that lights up, you've ready. Got that. Yes. Because that's where retail has us, Chris. I'm just going to be honest with you. You can do 20 loans a month on the retail side the same way. Bing, 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 bing. You can do it that way on the broker side if you dig into your SLAs, your SOP. I'm saying all these terms, but key performance indexes, right? Standard operating procedures, service level agreements, having, Karina Carter, my buddy, having unreasonable hospitality, right?
Yes.
So, and who really looks at that? It's unsexy. Nobody wants to do that. But my God, do a business plan, for the love of God. That's where I have to plop the F-bomb in there. Like, people, do a business plan. Like, and it doesn't have to be complicated.
No. Yeah. So you got the aim, you got this company. Now it's 2025. What's the plans for 2025 for you and this company?
I'm going to put myself out there right now, guys.
Let's hear
thanks
it.
for asking me this. This is not pre-scripted too, right?
Right. Nope.
So I just hired a coach.
Well, you did.
And
Good
I
for you.
Like a
you're scrunging a little because it made you uncomfortable.
Like I want to vomit in my freaking mouth every time I think about it. Yeah, it's scary shit. I'm not kidding you. Like I knew before going to where I went to hire him, I think for 3 weeks before, I didn't sleep for more than 4.5 hours a night. I knew that it was sickening to me. And you know what? This is my one successful power, is I just kept leaning in vulnerably. I tanked it. Like the seminar that I went to, I tanked it. I don't even know. I just stuck, right? But he was the right guy for me. And I invested a truckload of money. So who am I investing in? Myself at the end of the day, right? To show up in the way that I need to show up. So this is my year. It's my coming out. And I really want to produce information to help entrepreneurs that in the mortgage world. That's what I am up to, because I think Empire is one of my spokes, right? My main baby. I love it so much. And then AIM is another one of my spokes. But what am I up to with the women in mortgage? Like, I think there's a lack of women leaders in mortgage up to foundational success. That's what I want to produce. And of course, men are always welcome. Without a man inviting me to the table, I would not be here. And I mean that with love. I don't mean it with, I'm not a feminist. Like my dad was a powerful businessman. I respect that in men. And I know that I'm considered with the men that I'm at a table with. And I don't do it by going, move out of the way. I deserve to be here. I've earned it. I've earned it, you know? And it's just reminding them, like, once in a while, like, hey guys, you want to invite me to that football game? Huge football fan. And they're like, oh shit. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Right. But not bashing my way in. So it's just a different approach. So yeah, thanks for asking me that. This year is about educating entrepreneurs in the mortgage space about how to give, I just did a big trip with 90 realtors. And one of the things we talked about was the same thing that we talk about with loan officers, is how do you build a business that's sustainable? Do you know we can sell our businesses? I'm not talking about Empire. I'm talking about JulieYarbrough's loan desk. Yes, you can. Whether you're in retail, whether you're in wholesale, yes, you can. If you approach it right, you just need a 3-year runway. You have a commodity. You really do. So they don't think like that.
They don't.
Most people,
they don't think like that. And I would say the majority of the industry doesn't put a business plan together. One of the things that we did this year, that it was like how you do something and then you're like, oh, that was good.
Yes.
Was making them present their business plan.
Oh, so how did you handle that, Chris? Talk me through
that. I was watching my loan officers and AEs, and I looked at them at the end of the day of 2-day retreat, and they look like zombies. And I could go through the emotions, or I could pause. And so I paused and I said, look, I want you to go back. I'm going to set 30 minutes. You're going to present your business plan to us. And oh my gosh, did I learn a lot. And were every one of them great? No. But the ones that weren't great, we sent them back to fix things. And the ones that were really great, we learned with them. Mm-hmm. And, Shelby, you just had Shelby there, and Shelby came in, and her word of the year, because we make them do a word.
Yes.
And we make them do a why.
Oh, a why. Mm.
And they came back, and her word was mastering. And I go, what does that mean? She goes, I want to master the AE position, and I feel like the industry hasn't mastered it. And I want to master it. And I go, wow, how does that connect to your why? And she goes, competition. And I go, competition? Yeah, I was number 2. I want to be number 1. And I feel like if I master it, I will take care of my why.
Whew.
And I go, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Huh.
And then it goes through the other things of the part of the business plan. And I'll send it over to you. It's called our little tracker, but you just like sparked my brain because what happened was we started to do it with realtors and
Ooh.
having realtors present back. And my good friend Jason Purcell, he did it first, and he's like, I sent the why and the word to their spouse,
Wow.
and the relationship changed.
That's
And
that's my takeaway on this, Chris. I do it one-on-one, which is really hard with 200 people, and I let them
so
volunteer.
hard.
I let
Yeah,
them volunteer to be heard. But it's funny because after this last trip we just did, I had a couple of my top producers actually come to me and go, I'm ready. I'm finally ready. I go, for what? To do a business plan. I'm like, no shit. So you ranked fourth last year, right? Because sometimes we just fall into, we do what
yeah,
we're great at, right? But I love that. And if you'll allow me to pick your brain, what I would like to do is even have a way with an AIM, right?
yeah,
And Empire to have a feedback loop. Maybe they're mini masterminds. Maybe there's 25 at one time,
yeah,
but it's an opportunity to present, because when you present it, you speak it. When you speak it, it's energy. When it's energy, it grows legs, right? That's
yeah,
how I'm a little airy fairy with that shit. I totally put disciplines in place in the morning to have that come into fruition for me,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So good for you. I thank you for sharing that with me.
I think the major trick was this: share it 3 times.
Mm.
Share it 3 times, and it it was it. I feel like it's got something that, as I continue to share mine, or I continue to share, I watch others share, and like, man, it magically what's happened. So enough about that. As we wrap up, I gotta ask you something. It's just killing me.
Please.
I watch you and I watch your energy. It's so high. And I feel like, oh my gosh, Julie and I are a lot alike. And yet I have this question burning inside of me that is this:
I'm waiting.
because our highs are highs,
Mm-hmm.
our lows can be low.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get yourself out of the low?
Very great. Listen, see this shit? I'm, uh,
Okay, I got it.
I'm showing my hand that I burnt last week, and I had a reaction mentally because I was supposed to be at the waste management competition with blah blah blah. Right? I had all this trip planned. I had to cancel it, and it threw me in for a loop. And so, yes, as we are high, we go low. Right? Here's what I do. I am so disciplined in my mindset. I want to remind everybody that our mental health is a muscle. It is a muscle. It's like, if your knee was hurt, are you going to go run a marathon today? No. You're going to actually nurture it. And you're probably going to, whatever you're going to do, probably a bad example. Let me say a burn. You're going to wrap it. You're going to put some burn cream on it, right? You're going to get a little, you're going to give it a little self-love, which is what I did, right? And it's what I do for my mindset. So what do? I immerse myself. So I'm reading 3 books at the moment. I'm a avid reader, learner. And so what I do is I immerse myself in the opposite, right? What would keep me low is eating, drinking, partying, like whatever I can do to numb. And I just am aware of myself now.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I canceled my Super Bowl plan. I canceled my weekend. I'm just being raw and honest. And I stayed in, and it pissed off a bunch of friends. And they're like, well, are you going to, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going within. So what I do is go within, and I give myself love, and I give myself some nurturing, which I did not do until I was 50. I literally just honed that in for the last 4 years. And I didn't watch TV. I took a walk. I got some fresh air. I did some meditations. I immersed myself in positive. I watched TED Talks. And as much as I was pissed about it, just so you know, I was pissed the whole time. I'm like, I can't believe I have to do it. I'm pissed. I'm like a crazy person talking to myself.
Yeah.
But I know that's my way through it. Now, when I ignore it, it doesn't go away. It just comes out in a different way that's going to stop me, because I was locked in, man. And then I went and burned my hand. And I'm like, God damn it. I was so pissed. Like, I'm not kidding. I missed the morning call because I was in the ER. I was just screwed me up. It like pulled me out, and I was mad. And so I gave myself time to be mad, sad. And then I got my shit back together, and I got in my head, and I nurtured my brain. And then I rose yesterday.
Here you are.
Right. That's it. Yeah. And then that passes. Guess what? Our feelings aren't going to kill us.
Right.
I mean, that is such a statement that I didn't know that was true. I would eat my feelings. I was 300 freaking pounds at one time in my life. You know, I drank my feelings. I like to drink. I numbed everything. And so now I just feel it. And then I heal it and I keep it moving. Let's go. You know, until the next.
That's so cool. Julie, I got to tell you,
You're phenomenal. I'm excited to know you now, by the way. I've been wanting to know you and I've been watching you too. So thank you, by the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You know what I love your heart. I love your energy. I love you're such a giving person. And by gosh, you might be the most real person I've ever had on this call. Like you are so super real. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Make me tear up. I'm working on that, by the way. I'm working on that vulnerability. So you have no idea what a compliment that is. My coach will love it. And you'll know who that is soon. So as I'm coming out, thanks for cheering me on. I appreciate you in this industry with me. I'm watching you too. I don't know what you're going to, what's live and what's not, but I've been watching you. I told this to Shelby yesterday. I'm seeing you. And thank you for showing up. We need you. We need you. So keep doing you.
Well, thanks for being on Coaching with Chris. I can't wait to be on the early morning. I'll make sure I do my hair.
Yeah, do your hair.
And I'll see you soon. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Have a great day.